made a 40-pound vest. I can only imagine if it was 100. Imagine if it was 100 pounds. But it makes me want to do some movements and training.
Top of the morning, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news, or should I say some old news concerning Anthony Joshua. You know, a lot of people remember the infamous night that Anthony Joshua took his first L, took 4 knockdowns, and the fight was stopped in the 7th round. And a lot of people thought that, hey, man, that might have been the worst day in Anthony Joshua's life. However, there were other rough days, okay? Not to write or rate another person's or another man's days, but this one was also very, very bad. Anthony Joshua got knocked out by David Price in sparring after spending the night in jail back in 2011. Before becoming a global superstar and boxing world champion fans know and love today, Joshua was a fresh-faced amateur learning the ropes of the sport. Anthony Joshua endured a miserable 24 hours at the hands of the police and then David Price. Before his world title unification against Joseph Parker, Joshua openly admitted he was knocked out by David Price during a sparring session and needed help getting back to his feet. The revelation came after Parker's team accused the champion of having a glass jaw, which Price had exposed. But according to AJ himself, the day leading up to the knockout was far too surreal for his liking. He says, Joshua, I think I was doing Thursday to Sunday because I was doing a development course, he said after the press conference. Got nicked on the way up to training camp for trouble. Got out Saturday and I went up there and I got there by the station. I do think he, which is Price, was very good at the time, very strong, and I was making too many mistakes. Those circumstances don't help when you're sparring an elite fighter. He added, I caught the train because they took my car. I made the effort just to show the commitment and got straight into sparring. In order to ramp up potential interest, Price told that story back in 2016, shortly after Joshua defeated Josh Martin. Back to Anthony Joshua, he says, it's probably the worst kept secret in boxing, and it's something that I've never really brought up or mentioned. When it happened, Joshua was an amateur and was a novice pro, and I kept it to myself. And I was a novice pro because I kept it to myself because he was up and coming as a potential boxer. I wanted to protect him, and I didn't want to be around boasting about it. Now, that was David Price. However, you know, people get knocked out in sparring. We heard the same thing about Wilder. They say Vladimir Klitschko knocked him out and he was twitching. And that ain't the only person that said that. Johnny Nelson said that same thing. A lot of other people said that. So when you hear two things that are similar, you know, more than likely it's true, especially if you have too many witnesses to that. But a lot of people will deny certain things. You know, and it was clever on the part of Team Parker to bring that up. He has a glass jaw. He can't take a punch. He can't this. He can't that. Look what happened. Look what David Price did to him. Well, David Price was the man back then. He was a big, strong, powerful heavyweight, which he still is. But the irony of that, he seemed to have some leaks in his defense and seems to have like some questionable chin issues and situations that he's got himself into. Ask Mr. Povetkin. Right? So everybody gets it. You know, Joshua was supposed to beat Tyson Fury up in sparring. Triple G's supposed to beat the hell out of Canelo in sparring. Okay, a lot of things happen in sparring, but on top of that, going to jail for something, for mischief, or whatever Anthony Joshua got into, he wasn't squeaky clean back in those days. In fact, he was taking that boxing course so he can keep people off his ass in prison. You know what I mean? He had to know how to fight. You know what I mean? They don't care about your size. I mean, he wasn't that big back then. He was tall, but he wasn't the solid, colossal guy he was back then. So, yeah, he was learning that for a particular reason, and that reason wasn't probably to become the unified heavyweight champion of the world like he is today 2 times. So, things happen. So going back to the night he was defeated for the first time, and you've seen how he reacted, riding bicycles, playing basketball, and laughing and skinning and grinning and shit. Well, I think, and it's fair to say that he's been through those type of things to respect those times once again, just like he had experienced on June 1st, right? So, it's one of those things where it takes a hell of a person to talk about something embarrassing that's something that people don't talk about. Because a lot of people, if it was really that, if it was that important for the image to keep that a secret, no one would really talk it up. Just like no one really, really talks about when Vladimir took it to Deontay Wilder. Wilder don't really bring it up a lot. You know what I'm saying? So those type of things were strategized to keep secret. And you got to take your hat off to Anthony Joshua for bringing it up. Hey, it was a bad day. It happens. You know what I'm saying? And you can't say he said this after that. He said that before he took that L. But it's just crazy that these type of things happen in sparring, but again, it takes a hell of a man to admit something happened behind closed doors that he really didn't have to admit. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this article. I'll leave it in the description box. Let you guys check it out. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunching. Peace.